What's up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. Welcome back to the Tesla. And well, yes, the door handle is still not opening. So 1 second. All right, so this is my approach right now. You got to reach in here and hope that stays open, and then we climb back out. Whew. Yeah, and then we can close the rear door and we can get in the front door. There we go. See, now we're successfully in the Tesla. Yeah, it's a little comical, but a little inconvenient. Door still works. It's just that exterior handle that doesn't. Yeah, something snapped or broke there. Anyways, let's get out of the garage. But welcome back to Tesla Talk Tuesday, and let's roll. What's up, guys? So yesterday there was actually, on a completely unrelated note, some crazy flooding in the DC metro area. Luckily I got into work before it, but I mean, the skies were black and just opened up around like 7:30, 8 o'clock, and well, needless to say, Canal Road turned into pretty much a canal. Actually, going to some Tesla Talk Tuesday news. So I guess like a third-party independent group, not Tesla related, they decided to test out the efficiency of the Model 3 Aero caps. So they were actually able to find a 3% efficiency increase using the Aero caps on the wheels versus not using them at high speeds. I believe that they tried to maintain around 150 kilometers per hour. Yes, this was done somewhere over in Europe.
Speed trap reported ahead.
Thank you, Waze. And well, just based on their findings, they were able to get about a 3% efficiency at those higher speeds. I think at one point a Tesla VP came out and said that the Aero cap wheels can give you up to 10% efficiency. It is interesting and good to know that they are actually doing something. I know a lot of people remove them. The stock wheels do look pretty decent, and well, I'd probably remove the Aero cap wheels myself if I was driving. I mean, 3% is great and all, but it's nothing like game changing. Like, it's not like it's, 30, 40 miles of range and difference. So I'd probably still remove the Aero caps, but either way, it is interesting. Also, some interesting statements coming out of, I guess it's technically Fiat Chrysler execs. So the parent company of Dodge, Chrysler, all that stuff. So as we know, you have the Challenger, Charger, Demons, Hellcats, all that good stuff. Apparently, they have already acknowledged and given nod to the fact that electrification is the way that they will go at some point. The biggest thing keeping them from doing that now is just a pairing of getting performance and price point drops. So as we know, Tesla is struggling to turn a profit with their lower priced cars just based on margin and producing enough and selling enough for it to make sense. People like those affordably priced cars where they're still getting performance and they're still having fun driving them, and until the price point of doing some sort of hybrid or even fully electrification of those systems can come down significantly enough where it makes sense for those companies to do so, they're going to hold off a little bit. And obviously, as battery technology gets better, as batteries get more efficient, blah blah blah, it's just not going to happen. But they do acknowledge that is the way to go. That is obviously where performance is. I mean, as we can see with just the Teslas that are out now, crazy performance, even from my car, which is at this point, what, 5 years old now? If you're looking at something like a Tesla long range with ludicrous mode and performance, I mean, you're getting up well over $100,000 for those cars. But once battery technology and those prices start to improve and come down, well, you can start seeing that technology integrated, and you can even get those lower priced cars with better performance because you can incorporate a little bit of battery and hybrid technology to get better off the line reactions. Either way, it is very neat to see other car companies finally starting to acknowledge and sort of see the impact of what Tesla and then what all these other companies, the Porsche Taycan, the what's it called? The e-tron from Audi, the Chevy Bolt, the Nissan Leaf, all these other electric cars that have now come out and sort of pushed forward this electrification, further hybridization, further plug-in hybrids, all this stuff. Obviously, you have to acknowledge the fact that, you know, when the 918 Spider, the LaFerrari, the Acura NSX, like all these hypercars, supercars that are coming out with hybrid drivetrains, if there wasn't something to the hybridization, would they have done it? Or were they just testing out the waters? I don't know, but either way, it is neat to see them going this way. I would love to see another all-electric supercar, hypercar. I obviously can't wait for the Tesla Roadster to come out because I think that's just going to knock performance figures for any super hypercar out of the water. Speaking of that, at the Goodwood Festival of Speed over in Europe, I think it's in London maybe? Sorry, my apologies, I don't know exactly where it is, but recently VW with their ID.R, it's an all-electric race car, but it just set the new record. So I guess this record was, it's been over 20 years since anyone set the record, but it was set by a V10 like F1 McLaren race car basically. And well, this Volkswagen race car recently came out and well, needless to say, shattered the record, I would say. So the previous record was 41.6 seconds. The new record is 41.18 seconds. So pretty neat stuff to see that these electric cars are now coming out and starting to break some records of these other gas vehicles. Also on a side note, well, not really on a side note, but going back to the fact that my door handle is still broken because it doesn't magically fix itself. Teslas don't quite do that yet. However, I remember talking a while back about Teslas being able to diagnose themselves and automatically like send out, hey, I'm broken, I need this part, and Tesla would order it. Yeah, I don't know if they're doing that yet, but what I do know is that the earliest appointment I was able to schedule for my Tesla was in 2 weeks. Yeah, so it is a mobile appointment. I was able to request to work from home that day, so I would be at home. I scheduled it for 6:30 to 8:30 for that nice and early window, and well, needless to say, it's 2 weeks away. So that's a little tough. You know, I gotta crawl in through my passenger door or my rear door for the next 2 weeks in order to unlock my driver's door. So that's not really too convenient. I've had some setbacks with my car, and it's kind of like when it rains, it pours. Like, so when I had my car fixed for the drive unit, it was still squeaking. They didn't torque things quite enough, so I took it back in for that. But I had a couple other things addressed that I just wanted to get taken care of. That had sort of been outstanding issues, but I had them all taken care of at once. But they did find some other issues that they also took care of. So it seemed like a lot of things happened all at once, but it's not like my whole car suddenly just like fell apart. But I mean, at the same time, I guess it kind of did. But yes, so it has been back and forth in the shop, but nothing too crazy. Okay, fine, kind of crazy. But the door repairs, they're like semi-common on these older cars, so like I'm not really too worried about it. It's obviously covered under warranty. They come out, it's a pretty quick fix. Either way, I'll obviously update you guys on that. But yes, it is scheduled, but it's 2 weeks away, so that is kind of unfortunate. I don't remember what was available in the video when I filmed, but I waited a day, and just that pushed me back 2 weeks. So I should have really just scheduled it, and then I could have always canceled if I had to. But yeah, that's kind of the update of that. But anyways, yes, I am at my office, so I'm heading into work. Just give me like 2 seconds. We are back, and we gotta open the door still. There we go. There we go. Now I'm sure part of you are going to be like, well, why is he being so dramatic? Obviously he already got into his car in order to start the camera. You're not wrong. But I still had to go in through. I guess I could go in through the passenger door, but I usually drop my backpack on this side behind the driver's seat. So when I get out, my backpack's right there, and I just. So yeah, it's either way. Yes, the handle's still broken. Anywho, let's get out of the garage and let's get back to some Tesla Talk Tuesday stuff. So let's roll.
wouldn't be YouTube without a little like theatrics and thumbnails. You know what I mean? Anyways, back to Tesla Talk Tuesday. So apparently there's an interesting divergence in who I guess Tesla owners, like who the car is registered under. Apparently 69% of Teslas are registered to males, while only 31% of Teslas are registered to females. So very interesting divergence. However, if you look at other electric vehicles, I think the Chevy Bolt and the Nissan Leaf are in the visual I'm putting up on the screen. It's a similar divergence of like a 70-30, 60-40 kind of split. Whereas if you look at just other luxury vehicles such as Mercedes, Lexus, those kinds of things, it is closer to a 50-50 split or 55-45, basically a more even split between men and women. So it is interesting why or what is causing that larger difference in who's registering or buying these cars, at least for electric vehicles. Wait for it. Uh-oh. Yeesh. I don't know if I filmed that or not, but as I was filming that officer, he was looking directly at me, so I don't know if he was impressed or not too happy with my car. Either way, I'm in Virginia. I don't have a front plate on my car. I don't know if I can get ticketed in Virginia or not, like driving around. Like, can I get a fix-it ticket? I'm not really sure. I know in Maryland I can. I think it's just like a $70 fine. It's not a fix-it ticket, so you just like pay the $70 fine and that's it. I don't know what happens if I'm pulled over in Virginia. So the last interesting thing I'll put out for today is the state of Maryland also has EV tax incentives. So just like there's the federal tax incentives that companies get, states are doing a similar thing. So in Maryland, they decided that what they were going to do is $100 per kilowatt. Essentially, I have an 85 kilowatt battery, so it would be 8,500, but they capped it at 3,000 per person. So because anything basically over a 30 kilowatt battery pack, you're going to get the full $3,000 EV tax incentive. What happens is when you buy an EV car, you would mail in a form saying, hey, I bought an EV car, I want whatever I get for this EV tax incentive, and assuming everything is kosher, they would mail out your tax incentive. So what's interesting is this tax incentive, I guess, was funded to a $6 million amount. $6 million was the cap, which means if everybody's maxing out getting $3,000 per vehicle that they purchase, you're going to run out after 2,000 people submit these forms. So apparently the funding was approved for the fiscal year 2019, which apparently starts either this month or last month. But before the fiscal year even started, they basically already reached that $2,000 number, or the $6 million in funding that they would have to pay out. So before the year even started, they've already basically allocated this $6 million funding that they have, that they're promising to pay out to people that have bought EV vehicles. So it is very interesting, but it does show you how many people are starting to buy electric vehicles and definitely take advantage of these tax incentives. Now, unfortunately, I believe it's only for new vehicles. I'm not 100% on that, but I didn't look into it if it isn't. Either way, I know that the federal tax incentive is only for new vehicles, so even though I bought a Tesla, because I bought it used, I didn't actually get to take advantage of the federal tax credit. But I didn't look into the Maryland state tax credit, but I don't think it applies. I don't really know. It might. Oh, also, I think people hate when I don't know. Apparently, I'm supposed to be like a source of truth and like knower of all things. So when I don't know, people get very triggered. So sorry to trigger you guys, but I don't know. Pretty neat stuff, and it's cool that Maryland is actually giving out EV tax incentives. So if I ever do decide to buy a new Model 3 or new Model S or X, which apparently they're not. Oh, last fun fact. Apparently Elon Musk tweeted out that they are not doing a refresh on the Model S or X. So they're doing like little tweaks here and there, like for instance the new like Raven Model S's and X's, where they're using the new and improved drive units that are in the Model 3s, in the Model S's and X's. Like they're doing those kinds of things, but supposedly his tweet is hinting at that they're not doing like a full interior refresh where it's going to simplify it down to look like a Model 3, which I'm kind of happy about. I do actually really like the Model S interior. Having this driver's dash as well as like this big dash is is fantastic, but I know that a lot of people with Model 3, so you get used to that center screen over there, so it is what it is.
Anyways, if you guys are enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. But that's going to be it for today. So thanks for watching.